Okay, good. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And before we get to JRC, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings, if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shots campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be right there in the description box for you, along with labels so that you know what you're clicking on. That's in there for you in case you want to go again and do some deep diving in regards to the Judge Rothberg Educational Center situation on your own. So please feel free to do so if you would like to. Trigger warnings. We do get this channel marked not for kids for a reason. First off, when we speak about places like the Judge Rothberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. We also tend to use some profanity as well. So if you have a child that is 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is very much advised. Alright, folks, where we left off, we are on the final bullet point for today, where we're going to play another episode of Tiffany Has to Continue to Repeat Herself Until It Drives Her Slowly into Complete and Utter Badness. I wonder if it comes with a padded cell and nice young men in clean white coats. Oh, come on, you gotta know the song. They're coming to take me away, haha. Sorry. Alright, so, next bullet point. FDA understates the severity and risk of self-injurious and abusive behaviors for which ESDs are employed by JRC, and the permanent injuries those behaviors can cause in order to diminish the benefit that the ESDs provide to this incredibly difficult to treat population. Every single word of what you just said right there, JRC, is a lie. It's a lie. First off, nobody is fucking unaware of the fact that self-injurious and abusive behaviors are dangerous. Nobody that has ever worked within this field has in any way tried to undermine the seriousness of where that can go, including ERs. Fortunately, too many times, even morgues. Nobody whatsoever is downplaying the severity and the risk in regards to those behaviors. For the love of God, we are all extremely sick and goddamn tired of your goddamn gaslighting bullshit. To me, this seems very similar to when the war in Gaza first broke out. Where all I heard all the time was, did you condemn the attacks on October the 7th? And it was said so many times and asked over and over again. It felt like it got to a point where I feel like these people would jump down my throat if I didn't, like, with my call center job, answer every call with thank you for calling, blah blah blah. I condemned the actions on October 7th against for every call. That's how ridiculous it was. Why the same people kept getting asked the same question and people legitimately expected them to keep answering the question they have already answered. Right? This is gaslighting, JRC. We know it. You know it. Nobody's downplaying the risk of those behaviors. What we're telling you is that what we shouldn't be doing, JRC, is to try and stop those behaviors and trying to avoid what can be some very tragic outcomes because of those behaviors by replacing them with you abusing us instead of we abusing us. Okay? Because that is all you're doing. And as I've stated so many times on this channel, for the love of God, JRC, I was those kids. You want to know how I know it is possible for there to be a type of treatment that would bring someone who was extremely self-injurious and abusive to come around? Because I did it. I did it with the help of a whole bunch of extremely sane and competent medical and mental health professionals over a series of several decades. Now, all my not so great behaviors are never going to go away permanently because we live in this little thing called real life. But they were able, without inflicting any violence upon me, assist me to address what those behaviors were and what was triggering them. And wouldn't you know it, after a few years, yeah. See, that's what happens when you have a competent team that respects human rights and looks at an individual like myself as a human being instead of an object to be used in bizarre science experiments. Okay? No one's downplaying jack shit. We're just saying that the idea shouldn't be to replace self-injurious behaviors or aggressive behaviors that we are inflicting upon ourselves by simply changing who is the one that is delivering the abuse. You are the ones who continue to downplay and out lie in regards to the injuries that device has caused for over the last 3 goddamn decades. You make the same arguments even though there are literal photographs out there of the injuries, 2nd and 3rd degree burns on those kids. We have documentation where you have been forced to take a child off of that device for 2 weeks so they could actually heal before putting them back on. Does that sound like a sane solution to you? Because one way or the other, the student is still being harmed. They are still being abused. In actuality, the only thing that has changed is the type of injuries received. Literally. Literally. In regards to difficult to treat, I've already explained to you how that is handled in a far more sane and humane manner throughout the entirety of the rest of the medical model. By the way, when mainstream ABA is looking better than you, with their absolutely horrendous bunch of psychological abuse on their end, go find a mirror, stare at yourself in it, look yourselves directly in the eyes, and start thinking sincerely about your life choices. Because just because you find us difficult to treat does not mean that you have the right to abuse us and get away with it because you call it treatment. Calling it treatment is not a get out of jail free card for the abuse of vulnerable disabled kids. And that is a hill that I am more than happy to die on. We're gonna go ahead and close on that one, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few we do get to get removed from time to time. You know the drill. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Make sure that you are still subscribed to the channel so that you can receive all the latest updates regard to our Medicaid series, HUD series, SNAP series, and more coming along the way. Especially down the rabbit hole, because my God, RFK Jr. is... God help us all. Appreciate your time. I hope you have a good one, folks. Bye-bye now.